Hi. um, if you're easily triggered, more specifically, if your OCD is easily triggered, I might not be centering the screen. Um, do I care? Not really, no. So I made a prior video to this one, and it was pretty, I jumped all over in topics and so forth. Today I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. Some people are either going to agree or disagree. I mean, it's freedom of speech, right? I don't know. It's not, if I was in the States, I would say that would be, I believe that's the first Constitution. All right. Oh. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about why I don't believe in God, heaven, hell, any higher or any lower powers. I'm going to tell you why. I grew up in a very strict, well, no, strict would mean, I want to add the word feelings to that because of how it was more of an emotional strictness. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. Let's say it again for those who haven't heard. I'm closer to two of my sisters now. One of them I just ran into again after not seeing her for several years because she never liked me because, according to her growing up, I was a bad kid. Like, we're talking like when I was like, I don't know, 10, 9, 8, I don't know, whatever. But that has to, that's going to bring me to what I'll be talking about today, where like I'm having a conversation here. Well, I guess by myself, right? A little bit about me. I'm going to be 65. If my voice sounds funny, my talking is lispy, is because the last video I did, I didn't put my teeth in, and I wear partials. So those are my side teeth because I grind my, oh, you know what? My hair is going to drive me nuts. I'm just going to do one of these. There we go. Not as attractive, but what the hell. Okay, so I still grind my teeth, and so I've had to have several healthy teeth removed just because I was grinding them to the point where they got loose from the sockets. So if I sound funny, I'm wearing my partials. So there you go. Okay, so back to what I was going to talk about. There's a lot of people in my life that grew up the same way I did, like a very strict religious and Italian families, including my sisters, of course. And Sundays was always, we used to get up. I guess we'd have breakfast, maybe some spaghetti, or we used to have spate coco, which is an Italian, which is I want to correct, a Calabrese beverage that you would drink in the morning, and you'd have them with your spaghettis or pastettis. If you look it up on an Italian translator, you're not going to find the word because every province in Italy has a different dialect, and I think there's like slang Calabrese, and that's what I grew up on, was the slang part of Calabrese. Okay, so strict Italian religious, church every Sunday, and I didn't mind going to church when I was a kid. I mean, I was like, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, fidgety, but I mean, church is church, right? So you got to sit there and be quiet. And I think I was about 9, must have been when I was 9 years old. And I was religious at that age to the extent that I would pray to God that my mother would stop beating me. Like, can you please make my mom love me? I don't think I ever heard my mother say she loves me to me once in my life. My dad did say it to me, but that was when he was practically on death's doorstep. And I don't know that he regretted not having said, I love you, to any of us as children growing up. I don't know if that was a regret, but towards the end of his life, he was very loving, and I loved my dad way more than my mother. And I felt sorry for my dad because of the way my mother used to treat him. She treated him like shit. She was constantly yelling. She was a very narcissistic, very, I don't know. She shouldn't have had kids, and I've said that before. And I wish she would have stopped right before she had me, because I didn't ask to be brought into this world, but here I am, and I'm making the best of it. I'm for all that I've gone through. One of my things I'm most proud of is that I didn't turn to like hard drugs or alcoholism. I just dealt with the cards that were given to me. I made do with what I had. I survived on my own. I was not well educated. School wasn't an option for me because I had to survive on my own. I used to run away from home all the time. And getting back to what I was talking about earlier, God. So every night I'd on my knees in front of my bed, hands folded, like your typical whatever. And I'd say, oh God, please let my mommy love me. Oh, I wish my mommy would love me. And I'd be praying to God to make her not beat me anymore, to just make her want to love me, to make me a better child so that my mother would love me. These were the prayers that I asked for. And I kept praying and praying, and my mother never said I loved you. My mother never stopped beating me. And I thought, maybe I'm going about this wrong. Maybe instead of asking for something for myself, I need to be giving thanks for what I do have. Maybe God will listen to that. So I thought, I'm being too selfish. I need to. So I thank you, God, for letting me wake up this morning. Thank you, God, for putting food in my stomach. So I'd start giving thanks, and I thought, and every once in a while I'd throw in but do you think you could please stop my mom from beating me all the time? Which brings us to when I was 9. And I think this happened often. I blocked some of it out because my sister reminded me about a time I was 13 when, the same thing happened. And I was like, oh, I guess I stopped. The beatings weren't doing anything. So anyway, I was in church one day and fidgeting like any 9-year-old, 8-year-old would do. And because, it's boring, you sit there doing this and whatever, and maybe yawning or just one of these, right? Because I was frankly bored. I was 9. I didn't want to be sitting in church on Sunday morning. It was my, so I went to church. I must have been fidgeting and I have a Zia that they used to always sit behind us. We all had our own pews every Sunday. This is how we'd sit. This was the family arrangement from my grandmother to my cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever. Church held about, I'd have to take a guess here, maybe 120 people. It wasn't a very big church, but it was a great place to be. And in as much as I love the smell of the incense that the priest burnt, and I used to get a chuckle out of when he'd drink wine, I'd fuck, take a shot for me too. So anyway, we got into char after church. We went into the family car and sat as a family, and I was sitting in the back seat. And my mother said to me, she goes, I have a surprise for you when we get home. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of odd. But who doesn't like a surprise, right? Getting over a cold, so you'll have to pardon that. So I get home. She goes into, she tells me to go to my bedroom. So I went to my bedroom. And I get home, and she goes into her closet, grabs a bunch of my dad's ties, ties that, and she tied me to my bed with these ties. And then she took, I think she might have had a belt at that time, or was it just, could have been wire hangers. I think I've mentioned one time before that wire hangers sound so cliche now because it happens to so many people. And wire hangers, what the fuck? Anyway, Dollarama wasn't around in the 60s, so it was wire hangers. And she used to hit me with those on my thighs, so I'd always have these like, V-shaped welts on my thighs growing up. So I remember not being able to wear pretty little skirts to school. I'd have to find pants that would cover it. And my prayers changed after that. When I would pray, I'd say, why are you, like, God, hello, earth to the heavens, God, why are you letting my mom beat on me so much? Like, why, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, and that it was that day that I was like, there's no God. There's no God. And to this day, I'm still like, there's no God. I mean, when you put it in this perspective for those that are believers, and hey, I have nothing against believers. I really don't. Whatever gives you comfort and whatever you find embraces you in such a sense that you feel safe and secure in your life, go for it. Whether it be religion or yoga, whatever, I don't care. You know, you do you, right? I do me. Like I believe in three things. I believe in fate, I believe in karma, and most importantly, I believe in me, okay? So I posed this question to my friend one day because it was something I had read in a meme or something, and it was like, yeah, that's it exactly. So because when I walk into her house, and I love her so much, like she's like one of my favorite people, I walk into her place and there's like, God, you know, they got the last dinner over the dining room table. There's pictures of Jesus and sayings and, you know, that, what is it, footsteps in the sand kind of thing, you know, all that stuff. Anyway, footprints, whatever. So, like, we were talking one day and she was saying about how, you know, she can't wait till she dies and she can be both her parents in heaven. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. And I don't disagree with her. If that's what gives her comfort, that's what gives her comfort. I mean, you've got to be, when you're in different groups of people and such, you have to make everybody feel inclusive, and you have to embrace the diversity of it, you know, and diverse ways of thinking. So one day I was talking to my friend, and she was talking about God, and I said to her, I go, if you were God for one day, what's the first thing you would do? And how come your God hasn't done that yet? Right? Like children being SA'd, children being verbally, physically abused, children with cancer. I just think that this person or entity or deity that they prescribe to and have such faith in, for me, I don't believe in any of it. I came out fine considering. I've had some good times in my life. I've had some times in my life. But I mean, I survived. You know, and not the survivor like Sarah Boone claims to be, if you know what I'm talking about. If you follow any court news, you'll know. She goes, I am a survivor. Oh, get out of here. You created your own whatever with your alcoholism, because they were clearly enabling each other and very codependent on their alcohol fix. Most of my friends we smoke weed. I mean, like, it comes from the ground. God grew it, so it must be okay. I'm totally kidding. So, you know, like I smoke weed, and I don't smoke weed a lot, a few times a week maybe. I'll always smoke before I get on here, though, because it gives me more clarity. The words are coming out slower, though, than I would like to, only because I want to make sure I don't say anything to offend anyone, although I'm sure this video just may as well probably be doing that. When they see what the title is, they'll be like, what the hell? But, yeah, so do I believe in God? No. Do I believe in heaven? No. Do I believe in hell? No. because if I don't believe in God or heaven, there's no sense in believing in hell or Satan, whoever the heck he is. But props to you, man. You got that red and black going on good. So anyway, I don't remember life before I was born. There wasn't life before I was born. And after I die, it's going to be the same. There won't be memories. There'll be nowhere special that I'm going to be going to. I just simply stop existing. And I just wanted to say again that to those people that do believe in higher ups, you know, like I said earlier, if that's what gives you comfort, then I fully support it for you. But it's not my cup of tea. And there was another girl, more of an acquaintance than a friend, and she's like, how can't you have Jesus in your life? He's everywhere. So I'm like, in your world, maybe, but not in my world, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't feel like, I think, here's where I'm almost sitting on the fence, but I still don't believe in God. I always think that for all the beatings that I took as a child, for all the physical, verbal abuse I took from my mother and my father, I think that I turned out okay. And I think that, you know, I like to think I'm a good person. I have some friends that don't believe in helping junkies out by giving them food, you know, or giving them any attention at all. Like, you know, people that are junkies or just down on their luck. I want to be the one. I'd like to say I help as much as I can. If they're sitting outside the grocery store, we get that a lot here in Northern Ontario. If these homeless or hungry people are sitting outside of the grocery store, like, I'll go up to them and say, you know, I don't have money because I just use my cards all the time. I don't have any money to give you, but, you know, tell me what you'd like, and I'll go in and I'll get it for you. And I've done that lots of times. Pardon me. I've done that lots of times. So I think I'm a good person. And so getting back to what I was getting at when I was getting at something that I was getting at. As I say, if you've made it this far, woohoo. I think that if, it's this much of an if, right? It's like the world's smallest if there is a God. And it's my time to go and I'm dying and I'm like in purgatory, or what do we call it? Middle place, limbo. Is that what you guys call it? Limbo, not purgatory. I think it's limbo, where you're stuck in limbo. And, you know, God looks down at me and he'll say, yo, you fucking made it through life. Good for you. Come sit up here beside me. Because, yeah, I mean, why not? Like, he knows what I went through, right? Right? If he's up there or wherever around me, he knows what I went through, and I'll be sitting at his the chair right beside him. Hell, I might even pull an Archie and take his chair and sit up there, and I'll freaking judge. You can't judge a person by what they were in the past, because I've got a terrible past. You have to. You don't even really judge people. You just get to know people, you know, embrace their differences. Sorry, not embrace. Accept their differences. Like my buddy with her, you know, Jesus pictures all over the house. I mean, it's her house. She invites me to her home. I go in. I don't go, oh my God, that picture offends me, take it down. You know what I mean? I'm not like that. I mean, but if she brings up religion, and I always tell her, don't want to talk about religion or politics, you know, like, I don't like to talk about politics. I don't like to talk about religion. And I've told people that, yeah. And for the most part, everybody knows how I feel anyway. So, you know, it is what it is. And so when I go over there, like, I embrace who she is. I accept how she has her beliefs and stuff, because I know it gives her comfort. And if that's what gives you comfort, then you do you, you know? And I don't mean that in a sarcastic way. I sincerely mean that in, if something gives you comfort, I want you to have that. But me, uh, yeah, that's going to be a hard pass. I'm not into that whole. But anyway, take care of yourself. Have a beautiful day or evening or just whatever. And if you watch this video and you like it, one of these, if you want to comment below. Don't be mean. I'm not a mean person. I wouldn't want any meanness thrown back at me. And yeah, that's it. Bye.